week 4, and today we're going to be talking about seedlings and some varieties that you can grow on your own until they're ready to be put into the garden. So we're going to be starting off with the tomato plant. This particular variety is called beefsteak tomato. They're going to grow big, juicy fruit, and they're excellent to eat in things like sandwiches. Tomatoes are a really good cooking source. You can put them in sauces, pizzas, you can eat them in your salads. Tomatoes are actually considered more healthy if they are warmed or heated in cooking because the heat dispenses their vitamins and their minerals. As I said before, this plant is considered a fruit, and this became an important fact back in 1887 when the government imposed a tax on all vegetables and not fruit. So their court case went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they needed to know if this was really a vegetable or a fruit, and the Supreme Court held steady and claimed that this is in fact a fruit. So these are going to get to be about this tall before I put them in the garden. You're going to want to put them at least a foot apart. They need their space, and when it's time, you can get a stake to help with their durability of standing straight, or you can get sticks in your yard. That's perfectly fine. So next we have eggplant. And eggplant are one of my favorite things to grow in the garden. They're big, showy plants. They produce these beautiful purple pieces of fruit. Again, this is considered a fruit, not a vegetable. Eggplant seeds contain nicotine. That's right, what's found in a cigarette. But don't worry, it would take about 20 pounds of ingesting eggplant to ever equal the amount found in one cigarette. They do have some wonderful health benefits though. I wouldn't let you shy away from that. They're great in all sorts of things. Eggplant parmesan, you can put eggplant with tofu, eggplant with chicken. They are absolutely delicious. These guys sprout pretty well. So you're going to want to plant them about this far apart in a garden. They tend to grow straight up, and again, depending on the variety of these, this one in particular, it will need to be staked as well. Next we have a cucumber. Another one I love to grow in the garden. This is a little guy. These take a really long time to germinate, so I would suggest planting these maybe a month and a half to 2 months somewhere warm before they have to go into the ground. They're going to go straight up a trellis and then produce their fruit hanging down. They are composed of about 95% water. China is the leading exporter of cucumbers, and they are delicious. They have incredible source of health benefits. Obviously with hydration, they're wonderful for. If you've ever heard that terminology, cool as a cucumber, the reason is because cucumbers have the ability to cool down the body, specifically the blood temperature. So when you hear cool as a cucumber, you know exactly why. And these are my favorites. These are sunflowers. So sunflowers have an interesting history because they actually originated in the United States, except they weren't popular until much later on in history. So around 3000 BC, sunflowers came along, and around 1500, the Spanish conquistadors took them back over to Europe. Now, a Russian Tsar was visiting the Netherlands and saw these showy flowers and fell in love with them and brought them back to Russia. He was backed up by the fact that the Russian Orthodox Church had banned all oils during Lent except for sunflowers. So you can imagine how popular sunflowers became, and the following year, rows and rows and rows of sunflowers were made. Now, these particular ones are called Mammoth Sunflowers, and this is a picture. It's going to grow at around 12 to 13 feet minimum. That was an experiment I did a few years ago. They're awfully beautiful. They're so much fun to do if you have kids. They also have a lot of interesting properties about them. So sunflowers will compete for sunlight. You don't want to put them right next to each other unless you have a completely open land. As you can see, we have two big guys right over here. This one's a little bit taller, and this little guy over here, he just was the loser in the competition for the sunlight. So today I'm going to show you how to plant this in the garden and how to do this. So we're just going to take it right outside, and right now should be an okay time to start planting these. So I'm going to put it right in here. Delicately take this out. You can see the root system has grown nice and healthy, and I'm going to split the plant very carefully. I'm going to put this guy right over here. I planted him in about 4 inches of soil, and then I'm going to take his other friends and plant them far enough away that they will not compete for the sun. So again, you're just going to put this right here. Nice soil, make sure that
They have plenty of sunlight. I have a bed that's wide open with sun, and I'm gonna put this little guy over here because he's gonna get first sun, and he's gonna need to catch up to his friends. So the really neat thing about sunflowers is that they have a behavior called heliotropism. Heliotropism means that all sunflower heads, the big ones, are gonna face towards east. But the smaller heads that grow off the stems, they will start in the east in the morning and follow the Earth's path during the day. It's a really cool thing to see. Unfortunately, when the heads mature, they won't be able to do this anymore. Most sunflowers will just head due east. So it's a really cool thing to put in your garden. Again, for kids to follow around for a compass, it's really fun. So I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you found some great varieties that you're interested in planting, and I'll see you next week.